Abortion rights are privacy rights. That's it. That's what we are talking about today on ThreatWire. Greetings, I am Shannon Morse and this is ThreatWire for June 28th, 2022. This is your summary of the threats to our security, privacy, and internet freedom. Let's go ahead and get started with today's news. I realize that about 95% of y'all identify as male, and you may not think this story matters to you. I also realize that about 4% of my audience on this channel identify as people with a uterus, and as such, you may have considered downloading a period tracker in the past. Side note, about 1% have not specified gender using the YouTube audience analytics tools, but 100% of you have likely identified as a human being. I say likely because it's obvious that I am a Cylon robot. So this story will matter to you or a person that you have come from because we all showed up on this planet Earth in the same way. So for the 4 to 5% of folks out there who, like me, are in the minority in this industry, and for the 100% of you who probably have kids, mothers, aunts, sisters, or a wife as calculated by the audience age groups on my YouTube analytics, let's go ahead and talk about how the Supreme Court's ruling on Roe versus Wade could impact your digital security and how we have been screaming warnings about cybersecurity and privacy from the front lines for the past decade. Now, while Texas's new bug bounty on people looking to get abortions should have been a red flag for anyone interested in privacy rights, now we are seeing several more states either actively signing bills or working on their own to soon ban this critical access. We already knew that this legislation could be used to sue anyone involved in abortion access within these jurisdictions, including such as a small task like an Uber driver driving a person to an abortion clinic, for example. Now, tech companies are now being called upon to stop collecting user data that could be used to sell them out to law enforcement. Many companies have already decided to publicly say that they will reimburse employees or employee spouses or dependents on their health insurance if they have to travel from an anti-choice state to one that allows critical health access. But they have been very, very silent on the topic when it comes to collection and storage of user data. So while employees may be given some solace from the potential impact and harm of these laws, users of these tech applications could still face fines and jail time. And that is because when data is collected by a company, and that company is within the US, they could be subpoenaed by law enforcement and forced to turn over any data that they may be collecting on you. Motherboard journalist Joseph Cox reached out to many tech giants to ask if they would provide data if requested by law enforcement on persons seeking or providing abortions. That included social media platforms, monetary payment platforms, ISPs, and cell phone carriers, along with transportation services. None directly replied, but Snap did respond with a vague post about how they would evaluate how it responds to these kind of requests. According to a case brief from 2019 in which Google was subpoenaed to release data on location to tie a man to a bank robbery, they had seen a huge increase in geofencing warrants from 2017 to 2018 of about 1,500%, and from 2018 to 2019, they saw another 500% increase in warrants. Even though federal law requires the government to obtain a warrant to compel a company to hand over this kind of data, and that is called the Stored Communications Act if you want to look it up. It is easily obtained since many companies do have this data already in hand, with Google's collection being even more accurate than a cell phone tower. We also already know from a 2016 report that non-government entities use location data already to directly target people in women's health clinics with ads using geofencing. And we already know that this data is sold. We also already know that women have been charged with feticide, laws that were originally passed to protect women from assaults during pregnancy, but have been totally misused to put them in jail instead for miscarriages or trying to manage an abortion on their own when the US health industry ignores their needs or, quite frankly, is too expensive. In each of these cases, digital data was used to charge the women. And while all of this assumes a warrant is needed, if a person does not know the law and is requested to do so, they could potentially hand over their unlocked phone thinking that if they don't, they might get in trouble. But some platforms like Signal quite simply cannot offer up data because they do not have access to that data. Other applications like period tracker apps are not regulated and they do not fall within the legal requirements of HIPAA. Period tracker apps leave a trail of health data about users since they are not legally required to protect that data or encrypt it, for example. And some of them do not even properly disclose whether they are or not. The EFF and privacy advocates have recommended that users delete these apps entirely, but the brands can do something as well by creating anonymous access or stopping behavioral tracking. They can strengthen their data deletion policies, encrypt data in transit, enable end-to-end message encryption that is opted in by default, preventing location tracking, and they could also ensure that users get notice whenever their data is being sought. Now, Justice Clarence Thomas, who just so happens to have the same name as the demons my D&D campaign group is currently ass-kicking, has already stated that he intends to, and I quote, correct the error established in precedents that have protected our privacy rights in our bedrooms, including but not limited to contraceptive rights. Now, I hypothesize that we will see a huge increase in search warrants in states that have banned abortion, with local governments approving more requests for things like a license plate reader near a hospital or a pharmacy, and for mobile phone data search warrants, even if it is just assumed that you may be interested in reproductive health access. We may see an increase in doxing of persons who are suspected of being pregnant and looking into buying a pregnancy test. Rulings that could be used to surveil the data of one group of persons or demographics could eventually be used to surveil the entire populace under the guise of protection. So again, whether you're in that 95% of my audience that can't have babies or carry them around inside your body for 9 months, but definitely plays a role in creating one. And for the 4 to 5% who may be in the demographic to potentially give birth, this affects 100% of the humans in my audience, unless you're a Cylon, who cares about data privacy, which you likely do given that you found your way onto this channel. Even if you live in a state that cares about women's rights, if you converse via mobile phone with persons in anti-choice states, your conversations could be seen by a third party. If you live in a state that allows access to abortions and you're pregnant and fully intend to carry to term, but you have to travel for work to keep your income flowing, if you run into health complications while traveling out of state, your data could be used against you. As Corin McSherry at the EFF said, this creates a huge database of information. It creates a honeypot of information for law enforcement. Your information could be included in warrants if you simply walk by a health clinic or drive by a pharmacy. Your data could be included even if you have absolutely no interest in women's bodily autonomy, aka a dragnet. I'm including resources and links down below in the description of this video in case you are looking for ways to protect your own privacy. Before I end out today's episode, I did want to say a biggest of shout outs to my Hush Puppy Perk level patrons for sharing their fur baby photos and for the support, and a huge thank you to Robert who joined the Alliance on patreon.com/ThreatWire. Check out my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/Shannon Morse, where I recently posted 2 videos about the upcoming Android tech. I also posted a really fun one about radon mitigation. I know, weird, but it was a great episode. I'm very proud of it. Do not forget to like and subscribe to Hack5. And thank you so much for helping us reach 800,000 subscribers. Hopefully we don't lose all them after I post this video, and hopefully there's lots of allies in our audience. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time on the internet.